If you're one of those people that believes a coup cannot happen in America, listen carefully. The warning signs are already here. Dissent is being silenced. A Project 2025 style manifesto has been created and released. Immigrants are being targeted for removal. And government agencies like ICE are being used as tools of fear against anyone who opposes this administration. The coup is already here. America is in trouble. You don't necessarily see it in your town or city, but you can hear about it at coffee shops and at dinner tables across this land. What's happening? Well, I've been here for quite a few years, trying to warn people of the dangers of Donald Trump. It's true that Donald Trump wants to take America over completely. Why? Because his beliefs is that America isn't great anymore, that he has to make it great again. The problem is he has to divide the country to do it. There has to be an enemy. There has to be an enemy to focus on, to blame everything on. And he's the only person that can eliminate that enemy within. So what has he done? He's divided America. Now, I believe there are things he's already doing that will end up in a coup. He will take over this country one way or the other unless we stop him. Today, I'm going to give you 4 tactics Donald Trump is using to take America over. Let's start. Number 1, eliminate those who oppose him. This is a no-brainer. Donald Trump has been promising to go after anyone who opposed him during the 2020, and he was good to that promise. He went after lawyers and congresspeople. He went after law firms and judges. Donald Trump does not like anyone who disagrees with him. He truly believes he knows best. Many people think that's okay. I'm one of those people that do not. In fact, I don't think he has a good understanding of our system. You see, like a child, and when I was a child, I truly believed that there was crime in the streets and we should send army people in to get rid of all of them. I believed that as a child because I lived in fear. It was in the 60s, and there were all kinds of things going on in the 60s. And being a young child, I was trying to find a way to fix it. What I realized later is that's not how you fix it. I grew up. But Donald Trump believes that he has to get rid of all dissent. He has to get rid of anybody who he believes is an enemy within. And he has his own list. So if you protest against him, you're an enemy. You're an enemy of the state. If you don't like him and you say something about him, he will come after you. He does have lists of enemies, and I'm sure that list is growing. So what does he do? He now is going after, first and mostly, immigrants, easy targets. He promised to get rid of only criminals, but what he's doing is getting rid of everybody, even people who've been here 30 years, who have children and grandchildren and have a good job. He's pulled people off of roofs, or should I say his ICE army has pulled people off of roofs. He arrested 300 South Koreans at a battery factory in South Carolina. They left the country. They'll never return. Why? Because they were illegal. They didn't have all their paperwork done. What harm were they doing? This is something we've been doing with Korea in building cars here for many decades. What's happening? He's cracking down on everybody. So if you're brown, you're Asian, whatever it is, you're at risk. And then it goes from there. He'll start arresting anybody he suspects as treasonous to him. Remember Pete Hegseth? He had a meeting with all the commanders from across the world. They called him in for a meeting. Donald Trump attended. What did they talk about? Control, the enemy within. It didn't go over well with the generals and all those in command, but it shows you their hand. It shows you what they want. They want to send troops into blue cities, so that they can take over, eliminate their enemies there. They're not going to look at red cities. There's red cities that are worse off than any blue city in America. But of course, they don't vote Democrat. He will not go after anybody that votes Republican. Of course not. So the crackdown has begun. It's been going on, and it will only increase. He's now talking about sending troops into Portland, into Chicago, and other cities. They're gearing up now, even though this is going to court. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He believes he can do anything, and the Supreme Court backed him up. Donald Trump is unable to break the law as president, according to the Supreme Court. That should scare you right there. That should give you notice that if you believe that he is not trying to take this country over, you're sadly mistaken. Number 2, create a conservative manifesto. No coup, no movement is any good without a manifesto to tell everybody what you truly want to do. Hitler had one. Many of these crazies that go in and shoot up schools had them. Well, Donald Trump has one. It's called Project 2025. Now, this particular manifesto is scary. The main document, Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise, was published in April of 2023. Now, Project 2025 is a federal policy agenda and blueprint for a radical restructuring of the executive branch, authored and published by former Trump administration officials in partnership with the Heritage Foundation. Now, the Heritage Foundation is a long-standing conservative think tank that opposes abortion and reproductive rights, LGBTQ rights, immigration rights, and racial equality. So this is a very right-wing conservative group. Make America White Again. This is where it starts. So this manifesto has already been published. Donald Trump tried to distance himself from it for a while, but he embraces it fully in his actions every single day. Number 3, rid the country of immigrants. I talked a little bit about this in number 1, but let's look deeper into this. Now, Donald Trump told everybody he was going to go after criminals. Now, we don't know how many criminals there really were, but it wasn't every person that came into this country. In fact, most of the people that have come in, illegally and legally, are usually good people, hardworking people. I can see them on job sites every day. But Donald Trump doesn't like them because they're immigrants. And of course, his people are told time and again they're illegal immigrants. They'll tell you that in every conversation you have. They're illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. That gives them the right to hate them. True, it gives them the right to go after them. Now, is this a good idea? Well, of course not. Immigrants keep our country going. They wait on you in basically in restaurants. They do drywall, roofing, farming, landscaping. Go down the list. Immigrants play an important role in our country because we don't have the population to do it, and many times the population we have refuses to do those jobs. But he has gone after them in brutal fashion. He has created an ICE army. ICE. You see them on TV all the time. They brutalize people. They've knocked down American citizens. They've knocked down and gone after protesters. They knocked down reporters. They pepper sprayed a priest in the eyes, point blank range, because he was protesting their actions. They have been unleashed upon the American people, and no one seems to care in the Republican Party. They think it's okay. Many of his followers will go on Facebook and say, I support ICE. That's what you support, is brutalization of people, innocent people, but they're illegal. Here we go again. Listen, if you want to make them legal, give them a path to citizenship. We've never had an easy path for people to become citizens. It takes too long, too many hoops to jump. Bring them in, let them become productive people in our country. They pay taxes, they work hard. But now we're getting rid of them, and now there's holes in our economy. Take the farm. They voted for Donald Trump against their best interests because, again, we're making America white again, great again. Well, they don't have anybody to pick their fields or work at their ranches or their farms. This is the case across the nation. I'm told here that restaurants have closed because the people working there have been arrested or have left. Mexican restaurants who were to open here shut down. Many were arrested by ICE. Empty buildings that someone was leasing to them for a business that would employ 20 and 30 people. No longer here. Is this smart? No, it's hatred. 4th, intimidation. Donald Trump is using intimidation. Again, we mentioned this a little bit early on. What is intimidation? It's when you fear to speak. It's when you fear of being arrested. It's when you fear being disappeared. Donald Trump is using government agencies like ICE to create fear. He's using also the National Guard, and he's going to use the Army, basically full-time Army, to go into cities. Will you go out into the streets with people with guns out there? A lot won't. Is this really going to change anything in many of these cities that maybe 1 block or 2 blocks had crime? No. Instead of using the system we have, Donald Trump wants to tear down that system. Why do you think he had Elon Musk and Doge destroy our infrastructure? Donald Trump wanted to get rid of as many people as he could in the federal government so that only his people are in charge and they all report directly to him. Make no mistake, there are no other decisions made outside of what Donald Trump says. These people will jump as high as he wants. Now, if you remember back in his first term, he had pretty conservative people, middle-of-the-road Republicans running his administration, the ones who will tell him we shouldn't do that. Let's not go down that road. But he made sure he did not bring any of them back. He brought in people like Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth, people who would say yes to him. Pete Hegseth, who had to promise not to drink to take the job because he was a drunk all the time. Kristi Noem has no clue what she's doing. She's another right-wing radical that hates anybody brown. This is what he brought into his administration. This is who runs these agencies. People who hate everybody who isn't like them. You see, this is what it's about. It's about getting rid of people that we think are the problems. But I guarantee you there are plenty of white people who are useless. Plenty of white people who are incompetent. Plenty of white people who are the problems in this country. Plenty. But we're not going after them, at least not at first. Because if you're on that right side of the spectrum, if you're a conservative, you truly are part of Trump's army, the MAGA army. And this scares me, and it should scare you. So finally, what I'm talking about here is a silent coup. Maybe it's not so silent after what I told you, but for many people across this country, it's a silent coup. They don't think any of his decisions are dangerous. They don't see what he's up against. Let me give you a tip here. I know of a few people that have written books, many books over the years, on civil unrest, many on fascism. I've read them. I've listened to interviews they've done, multiple interviews. One in particular said that in 2028, we should worry. Why? Because right now, the biggest problem Trump has is the 2026 election, which we hope to get rid of so that we can take our country back. But in the big scheme of things, what's Donald Trump's plan? Many, many people have talked about him creating a distraction. He will have to create a crisis, an emergency that only he can deal with. Can this emergency then let him take over this country to create martial law, to create a constitutional crisis, to eliminate any elections moving forward? Many people believe this is what he will do, if he is indeed able to do it mentally and physically. This man is 79 years old. But I believe they're right. I believe his plan is to find a reason to stay in power, to find a reason that he has to stay in power and take full control of our government, of our military, and pretty much forego the Constitution. Martial law is an option. By foregoing the Constitution, Donald Trump will be able to do anything he wants. He will have full control of this country, which means if you have been in disagreement with him, you are on a list and you can be arrested at any time. That's right. You would be able to be arrested for no reason and put into a black site somewhere, either in this country or another country. So people, if you truly believe that Donald Trump would not do this, you are sadly, sadly mistaken. He truly believes he's the answer to our problems. He believes that all the institutions that we have prohibit him from getting it done. Now, he has complained about other presidents using executive orders, but he has doubled down on that. He's used executive orders at every turn. He wants full control because he does not believe that the courts or the Constitution should be able to stop him from doing whatever he wants. He needs to radically change how our government works. Radically. All those checks and balances that were put in place by our founding fathers are going to be destroyed. And this country will be destroyed. We are the laughingstock of the world, and they are losing patience with us. It's sad for me to sit in front of this camera and say this. I truly believe in our Constitution and our way of democracy. But those days are now over. We're heading into a danger zone. And you must be awake, you must be aware, and you must be prepared. That's all the time I have. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And don't forget to love your neighbor as yourself. If we all did that, we wouldn't have this problem we're having right now. God bless you, and I'll see you next time right here on The David Thompson Show.